The church in the middle of the forest. So I'd been flirting with this lady down at my local coffee shop for a while. One of those things where you're not really sure if she's really into you or if she's just being polite. If she's just being polite and you ask her out and she says no, it will become awkward, which kind of means you can't go back to that particular coffee shop. On the other hand, if she really does like you and you don't capitalize on that, that becomes another event that goes into the category of could've, would've, should've. So I decided to take a chance. I looked at her and said, hey, I don't know if there is something here, or maybe I'm just imagining this, but I would hate myself if I didn't ask just to find out. I'd love to hang out with you sometime, but if you don't think about me the same way I think about you, I'm okay with that. And even if you are only being polite to me, I'd still like to come here and drink coffee and not have it be awkward. So, what do you want to do? She looked at me and said, I was waiting for you to ask me out. We exchanged numbers, I called her a couple days later, and we set something up. But when I showed up to our arranged meeting place, she and her sister were there waiting for me. And she gave me this look that kind of paced the situation. We went inside and sat down. She went to use the restroom, and then she looked at me and said, hey, I need to explain. I know you think that this is a crazy story, and I know what you are thinking. Right now, you are thinking that this person is just making this up, that this is a fantasy that never happened. But please, give me a chance. She said she had a recent experience, but then she didn't tell me what she had experienced. Only that she had to go to church and pray. And she had to go on that particular day. But she doesn't drive, and they didn't have any buses, or they couldn't get an Uber to go where she needed to go. Which is why she had to drive her on the day that we were supposed to do something together. So she decided to make the best of the situation where all three of us would go to church together. So we ended up going to this church that was way out in the boondocks. We went inside, and this place was about half packed. Then the preacher came out and just started talking. It was like no other service that I'd ever been to. He started telling stories from the Old Testament, but he kept jumping around. And some of the stories were from ancient history that I was pretty sure weren't in the Bible. But something about this guy was very mesmerizing. I thought to myself, even though this guy is speaking about complete nonsense, about utter gibberish, there is something about this guy that is unbelievably mesmerizing. Like you just can't take your brain off this guy. I wanted to look around inside the church to see if the other people were having the same response, but I just couldn't pull my eyes away from this guy. Then he looked directly at me and said, you may be wondering why you are here. You have certain interests that are not quite defined enough as you think about them. You have desires to be better in life, to communicate better, to express yourself better, to share what you know are brilliant ideas with others. But you also have a little bit of doubt. You aren't quite sure if what you hope is possible may actually be possible. You have a few memories of trying things and failing in your past. You have this deep, almost subconscious suspicion that maybe something is wrong with you, that there is something just beyond description that is holding you back. But I'm here to tell you, my friend, that that is all nonsense. That you are far more powerful than you can possibly imagine. That the things you are capable of are far greater than you can ever realize. That the potential gifts you have to share with the world are only now starting to materialize in your mind. Unleash your gifts, my friend, and share yourself with humanity. Unleash your gifts, friend, and make your mark on history. Unleash your gifts, friend, and let the world know who you really are. Unleash your gifts, friend, and only then will you understand your purpose. We were kind of quiet on the way home. I never really figured out what the deal was with her sister. Part of me thinks the both of them were running some kind of angle just to get me to go to that weird church. But at least it isn't awkward now when I go back to that coffee shop. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment. To learn more, please visit mindpersuasion.com.